Blue Beetle issue 3, written by Keith Giffen and Scott Collins on the art. Matt, you had some criticisms of the last issue, issue
Yeah.
2, for not, because you were promised Dr. Fate and Scarab stuff. You complained that you didn't have it yet in issue 2. Issue 3 had some of this stuff.
And I love, and I don't say I went back to loving it, but I liked it because there was the balance there of what the bill of goods I was sold and got me interested
Matt,
in the book.
All I was saying is, as I said last time, it's too soon to complain. And I feel
still doesn't change the fact that I didn't like that last issue because again,
okay, that's fair. That's fair.
This one didn't have the posse in it, and I think it benefited from it. So
I feel like I'm somewhat vindicated that maybe
no, that's fine.
Jumping
I knew you were
ahead.
gonna do this. I knew you were gonna do this. So, but no, definitely, and I liked the scene here that stood out for me wasn't Jaime waking up, not knowing how the heck he got to where he was.
Yeah, we should mention that the whole issue starts with the Scarabs sort of taking over and taking him places while he sleeps, and he ends up in this tunnel with all these monsters, and he ends up getting out, but it's like, holy crap, what's going on? The Scarab's going nuts, and we see that Cord is lying to him about how much Fate actually told him. Fate says, yeah, we might have to just do a mercy killing to take care of him before anything happens, and he's like, no, Jaime, nothing's wrong. He said, yeah, to be fine.
Dr. Fate's just really concerned about you, so... But, of course, Jaime doesn't believe it fully, But... And then there was a nice moment with his dad about, why he feels about that about his mom, Yeah. So I thought it was a nice balance of that, the snappy dialogue and supporting cast stuff, and then the main Cord and Jaime relationship and where it's going to go from here.
Yeah, no, I think this is where the book's really working for me, is the supporting cast stuff, and his dad, his friends. He goes over to one of his friends' houses and ends up staying for dinner and stuff, and just all of the banter and the bickering. I will say this: it is a long read because there is so much dialogue.
It is,
but at least the characters all have their own distinct voices and they have their own attitude. Yep. So there is at least style in the dialogue. So I don't care so much. I tend to put this one off a little bit until later because I'm like,
it's going to take longer.
Yeah, that's going to take twice as long as the other books. So this was the last thing I read.
But also, I do like that if you're trying to read it quick, sometimes you lose who's talking.
Yeah.
In here, you never, because each character does have their distinct voice.
Exactly.
So you know who's talking here.
Yeah. So the main things to come out of this one is that Jaime is agreeing to all the tests that Ted wants to do on him. That he's going to have his honchos perform. So he's actually concerned about what this is doing to him, what the Scarab is doing to him. So he's going to do the test, which presumably the next issue will largely be about. We also have this tease at the end, though, for I'm going to call him a villain because he does seemingly kill a kid. Is all I'm saying. We end at the airport, and this big green-looking dude who transforms into just a creepy-looking dude. He's got this big green armor on, and then he doesn't have it, which makes me question if people are seeing something different.
Yeah, because he looks like what Jaime was fighting early.
Yeah. But then he just looks like a
guy in green. Loki-esque to me.
Yeah. I was going to say he looks like a prick. I mean, look at that goatee. This parted goatee. No, that's prick. Nah. But yeah, so we see this kid that he bumps into, just start bleeding from the eyes.
It is kind of being a little bit of a jerk.
It is, but
like that.
It is a kid, and he's bleeding from the eyes, and the last thing we see is just him on the ground, and his mum's screaming. That's a pretty dark ending for a book that's a very sort of witty, happy-go-lucky, book. That's a pretty dark ending.
It cranks that up though, that the danger these people pose. That if you just bump into them, you end up with bloody eyes. So
I will say this: I love the attitude that even the cliffhanger text has. It says next the origin of the Blue Beetles. That's right, we said Beetles. Just that little bit of attitude. They just they're well aware of what they're doing.
Yeah.
What
book was I reading? I remember reading a book. It might have been Booster Gold, to where there was a black beetle at one point too.
All right. Okay.
So there's different. Yeah, I don't know if that's still canon or not, but that was interesting. But yeah, I mean. This concept of the Scarab, I've really only have gotten, because I didn't read the comic, but from Young Justice, when Jaime would show up there, and how it's alien, and, it's designed to be a weapon, And I mean, if there's more of them, and if they're magic, what does this mean for all of that? So, really interesting.
No, I still think it's solid. I think all the character stuff is what's really making it. But Matt's getting his Doctor Fate teases and his what's going on with the magic side of things, so he's getting that. So please, both of us this time round.